So Disney has announced that Muppet Vision is disappearing. They're replacing it, changing the whole area over to Monsters, Inc., and the Muppets are going over to Rock and Roller Coaster?
We'll see.
So, we've got a friend with us. Brendon's been in some of the videos. You've seen him pop in here and there. He's another one of our patrons. But we thought it'd be fun because he's also a big Muppets fan as well as Dickens, and he's in town. So, hey, let's have him join us. So, this is Brendon.
Hey, everybody.
And then, of course, Megan. Megan and I are the big Muppets people here. Brendon's got some memories and stuff too. But yeah, we wanted to talk about the changes coming on. Because I think... I don't know. For me, I'm rather upset.
Yeah.
About the changes.
I'm definitely upset.
But the whole. So yeah, lots of ums. By the way, somebody commented about all our ums and awkward. I usually used to edit this out, so you never got to see it. Now you see it all.
I called myself out on my ums a couple episodes ago, but I think I've gotten a handle on it since then.
Yeah. So, anyways, I thought that the new Monsters Inc. stuff should have gone over an animation courtyard. Better fit. Dead area of the park would have gone, but no, they're going to put it over at what's left of the streets of America. Replace the Muppets, replace Jim Henson's last project. And yeah, here we go so Monsters Inc. is going to be cool, but the fact that we're going to lose the Muppets.
I know. I was thinking about this the other night too. I agree that it should have gone in Animation Courtyard too, but also because the Muppets are going over to Rock and Roller Coaster, that it would be good, instead of the villain show, they're putting in a replacement of Lightning McQueen, to just scoot Muppet Vision over to that show building, and it could be like a reimagined Muppets area.
I don't know if it would fit though. It would be, honestly, if they could fit it in there, that would be awesome. But I don't know that it's big enough.
I feel like it's a big building, so I don't actually know.
Can they renovate?
I don't know.
Disney renovate? Why? But it would be nice if that was something they thought about. I doubt they've thought about that.
I was just saying off camera right before we started this that I'm excited that we get to all be here to have this conversation, but I'm also really sad that it's actually about this announcement.
Yeah. I think we've all got big memories of Muppets.
Yeah.
Brendon, you were sharing.
So, until I got to do the show with these two a couple of years ago, I had only seen it once, and that had been years prior. But my favorite part was my family would quote this all the time. We would always go around going, "Did we have time to go to the bathroom before the next show?" "We can't! We're bolted to the seats!"
It's terrible because every time I go to the show, I basically have to watch my volume because I sit there and I quote the whole show the whole way through.
It's so quotable. Until I get back in there, I have to remember how much that I do actually remember from it. Me and my family always grew up quoting, "We surrender, we surrender."
Well, of course, now these two got me doing the glorious 3-hour finale. You got a minute and a half. Gasp. So
He's got a cannon!
A salute to all nations, but mostly America.
And
it is a glorious 3-hour finale.
And at no point will we stoop to cheap 3D tricks.
Did someone say cheap 3D tricks?
Yeah. It's just, it is quintessential Muppets at every level.
Yeah.
Something that Muppets today oftentimes forgets what they're supposed to be. It's why the whole TV series they tried flopped, because they forgot what the Muppets are supposed to be.
I'm glad they tried, but it was a valiant effort.
Yeah. Although I will say the Muppets Haunted Mansion, that is great.
That's really good.
That's
I love
awesome.
the Muppets Haunted Mansion.
But
my dad actually says the same thing about the Muppets. He's like a casual Muppet appreciator, but he gets out a Muppet Vision and he's always like, yeah, that was just such classic Muppets. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if you hear the whining, the dog is very upset that she can't come jumping into the video. So she's kind of off in the background, like. So they came up with this announcement. It kind of, the writing has been on the wall for a while because you've seen the Muppets area gradually declining.
Mm.
They've been painting over the murals. The Muppet store has been closed for how long now?
Since COVID? Before COVID, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So it's been happening. I knew that the time was coming. I figured that they would convert to Star Wars.
That makes sense.
Because you've got Galaxy's Edge right there. You've got the old Star Wars right there. And then you got this weird Streets of America bridge. I'm like, okay, this would make sense to add Star Wars in there and convert it over to Star Wars. For me, I guess I would have been less upset if that's what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would make sense.
Yeah.
Monsters Inc. there doesn't make sense.
I just wish that they could just add on instead of replace.
Yeah. It's hard the way the park is boxed in there.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't realize the employee access road actually goes just beyond that area there. So the old park entrance where you used to drive in to the parking lot was actually right on the other side of that area.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
So.
Definitely not. I feel like it's definitely Muppets Courtyard, but definitely also having an identity crisis.
Yeah. Well, the whole park has an identity crisis, but
that's also a fact. I miss the Muppet store so much too. Like, we'd get out of Muppet Vision 3D, and then me and my family would walk straight into the store, and I would have a heyday. That's where I got my Beaker plush. I need to dig him out of storage. It was a good time.
Yeah, we've always done the Muppets. Goodness, I'd go to the Muppets on break when I was working sometimes. And just kind of sneak in the back.
That is so cool. When my friend and I were there in April, he had not seen it before. He hadn't been to Disney World before. And I was like, well, you have to stick around for the pre-show, too. The show is good, but the pre-show is part of the experience. And we got there late, so I was like, we're going to wait around. And we're going to do the pre-show again. And then afterwards, he's like, yeah, I understand that. I understand that.
Yeah, if you're a Muppet person at all, the pre-show is worth watching. Mm-hmm. Even if you're not a Muppet person, it's just so off the wall. By the light.
Not the sun, but the moon. Me and my mom quote that now, too.
Yeah. Well, and what's really cool is a lot of people don't realize, if you look around in that entry area, a lot of those props are actually the props used in the video, in the show itself.
Oh, yeah.
So if you look, you'll see some of the soldiers that are used in the grand finale. Mm-hmm. They're actually the real figures that they used in
the real?
The real ones. Oh. The ones you see actually in the movie. So a lot of those props are the things they used in making it.
That's so bittersweet.
Yeah. No idea what they're going to do with all that.
And then there's the picture frame, if you look up, that's like the Muppet Jim Henson, too. Mm-hmm. I look at that now, too.
I had never seen that. I only saw something on social media about that, so.
Yeah, it's like, you gotta kind of look up right when you walk in for the pre-show.
The whole thing is just full of Easter eggs.
I don't think I'd ever even noticed any of that. I can't even remember if we saw the entire pre-show when we were there.
I think we saw it twice. So maybe between those two, maybe you saw the whole thing.
I think I saw it once before you got there that day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I need to see it.
Yeah, because I will deliberately try to come in early enough to catch at least most of the pre-show.
Did you lift the mat? Do you remember lifting the mat in the pre-show area?
No.
Because they say something like, don't lift the mat or something. Or
no. If you're locked out, the key is under the mat. And you can lift the mat and there's actually a key.
There's a key. Oh, I was thinking of Indiana Jones. Don't pull the rope.
Yeah, don't pull the rope. So yeah, you're going to lose Muppets. Wrong area. I think we're all agreed that it should have gone over to animation.
Didn't the concept art look like that anyway?
Yes.
So they had two different kinds of concept art. They had the one that was going to show Streets of America, and they decided at D23 at the last minute to not show that because they knew people would get mad. And so they showed the other one, which looks a lot more like Animation Courtyard. But yeah, so the plan apparently the whole time was there.
I felt like all signs were actually starting to point towards Animation Courtyard, which I guess is exactly what they wanted in the end, because there was that concept art released. And then they were also doing like small improvements to Muppets too. Like they reupholstered the seats to where they weren't cloth anymore. And then they added like a couple little special effects here and there. They crisped up Waldo's projection, and then they put arrows in Statler and Waldorf's box seats. Like they put a magic band on Sweetums. Like a bunch of little things that were making it better.
And stuff, and now you're kind of like, why?
For why?
And I don't know. there's just a number of things that they seem to be doing that just like you're not listening to people. The Muppets is one where, like I said, it could have been redone. We could go on to the whole Rivers of America bit.
That's another day.
Yeah, that's a whole nother deal. But I feel like whoever is doing the park planning is just not in touch with how the parks are supposed to overall theme and operate, or in touch with people going to the parks.
I agree with what you've said before is about how we need somebody who's like a business person and a fun person, like a good mix of a creative person.
Yep.
Because I understand maybe the Muppets don't bring in a lot of money right now. Maybe they don't, but the fans are hardcore, man.
Yes. Well, and now I'm trying to figure out, so now we're going to move the Muppets over to Rock and Roller Coaster.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just trying to, okay, I love Aerosmith. I understand why it's time to change them. Guys are getting old.
Yeah.
Aging happens. Trust me, I hate it. And like I said, I love the Muppets, but I'm trying to figure out how they're going to work on this.
Didn't they say they were going to use like some of today's musicians too, or something like that?
I don't know. So I'm picturing Electric Mayhem trying to do current songs, and I'm just like
screaming in your face or in your ears while you're riding the roller coaster. He's like, bah, 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 bah.
So I mean, at the launch, are we going to get? As your pause, you're going to get animal. I
would actually kind of love that. That would be cool. Chaos, but I would love that.
But yeah, I'm trying to figure out how they're going to make this work.
I feel so conflicted about that overall because they announced it at the same time of Muppet Vision closing, and it almost makes it hurt more. But also, I'm like, at least it's something, but also it makes it hurt more. I don't know.
It's like we're trying to give you something to appease you so you're not totally mad, but...
But it also makes it worse, but I can't explain how.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just trying to figure out if this is going to actually work or not.
I want it to. I desperately want to be wrong. But I still don't want to be without Muppet Vision 3D. And that's the other thing about the announcement. They're all like, we're going to attempt to find ways to preserve the film and the experience. And I don't know what that means. Like, are they going to switch it out temporarily with One Man's Dream? Or are they going to put it in the Smithsonian? I have no idea what that means. And I know that they were vague on purpose.
So what I wish they would do is you've got the old theater sitting in California Adventure where it used to be. Mm-hmm. And they've been showing... Goodness. We saw PhilharMagic in it. It looked terrible because that theater's not designed for PhilharMagic.
Is that theater also having an identity crisis?
Oh, yeah. And I'm like, okay, maybe if you put Muppets back there again. But for some reason, it was not as popular in California. I don't know why. But that theater's still sitting there. It just... So imagine PhilharMagic. The huge screens. Yeah. And then they squeeze it onto one screen.
You can't do that.
So, you want to talk about big old bars, it looked terrible.
No.
It looked terrible.
Especially with the additions and everything now, I can't imagine.
Oh. But yeah, okay, put Muppets back there maybe. Yeah. Although, I would say, but does it fit into the area? That hasn't stopped them recently.
No.
No. Monsters Inc. in the middle of Star Wars, hey, why not?
Well, I did see a meme once that crossed them over, like Boo was dressed as Leia.
That'd be so funny. Brendon, Muppets Star Wars. They've done it before. I have the figure pack from like 20 years ago.
Miss Piggy is Leia. Mm-hmm. Kermit is Luke.
I think Rizzo was a droid. Or Fozzie was Chewbacca or something.
Rizzo would have to get a new voice now, though.
Yeah.
Gonzo was Darth Vader.
Light the lamp, not the rat. I just watched it.
They could have done that. But,
please.
So what songs would you have Muppets do on Rock and Roller Coaster?
I don't know. Who's a popular rock group today? Or were they going to go with pop artists?
Set It Off?
Yeah.
Input from the Peanut Gallery.
Yeah. I don't know. That is the question. Or are they going to use songs that they used on like the Mayhem show? I never actually saw it, but I know that was their thing.
You're going to want to go with songs that people know. Mm-hmm. So you don't want obscure or niche hits. You don't want one-hit wonders either. Unless it's something that everybody knows.
I think of popular songs, but also it would be the perfectly mismatched energy if you put the Rainbow Connection in on Rock and Roller Coaster. It's soft, flowing music.
Have like some,
like
or just have some ska band or something do that.
It's not easy. Well, okay.
The thought of Rainbow Connection and Rock and Roller Coaster won't leave my head. That might make this announcement better.
You know, the scary thing is that would actually work in a totally weird way.
The perfectly mismatched energy.
I'm just imagining now, those movies where you see the slow motion clip of these people going through horrible things in this soft, soothing music.
Yeah, catastrophe. And then, like, Andrea Bocelli playing in the background.
That could
work.
That could actually work.
Disney, if you're watching, please.
Goodness.
I'd work for free, please.
There are people who work at Disney free.
Oh.
Would.
Don't give them the idea.
Yeah, I would say there's a whole nother deal. I don't want to touch that one. Oh my goodness.
Anyway.
So, any other thoughts about Muppets leaving? Or...
Just sad. It's been a fixture of my Disney trips 100% of the time. And now it will have to be without it.
It's almost on the level of Country Bears.
Not for me. Nope. I don't relate to that.
Country Bears, Muppets, together forever.
What was there again?
Hmm?
Country Bears, what was there?
Oh, Country Bears.
What does he say there was?
There was...
blood on the side.
The group chat's almost back together. We miss you, Craig.
Oh, I wish I had gotten a good video of Megan sitting on the front row of Country Bears for the first time.
I did get video of blood on the saddle, and you could hear her laughing in the background.
I
So.
was laughing in shock.
Because she's between me and Craig. And for all of Craig's razzing, Craig is singing along with it as well. And she's just like... It was awesome.
Oh, man.
That was another thing that my mom would do, especially after our Disney trip. She would go around going, blood on the saddle. So,
well, there's just certain things you have to do. Yeah. You quote Muppets at Studios. You do Blood on the Saddle at Magic Kingdom. You do Dude all over the place at Epcot after seeing Turtle Talk.
Righteous.
Our only trip was before that. But we did go around singing Now is the Time, Now is the Best Time. That was what we heard on Carousel of Progress, so that's what we associated with it.
And I think of that now when I hear it on the People Mover or Walking Through Tomorrowland. Now is the time. He's so robotic, the newest announcer. Now is the time. Now is the best time. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
I definitely quote Carousel of Progress.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, we're going to lose a major source of quotes, though.
Yeah.
We'll still quote Muppets.
The real ones will know. We have a minute and a half.
So I've got the one shirt that says, I don't care, it's still MGM to me.
Yeah, classic.
I'm going to have to get another one. I don't care, it's still Muppets to me.
It's always Muppets. One of my pop figures that I decided to keep, I went through them last night, I kept a few. One of them I even forgot that I had was Jim Henson holding a Kermit. I'll show you guys, it's still in my car. It's a good one. I'm awesome. Keeping that one, no offense.
So anyways, what are your thoughts about Muppets? Would love to hear them. Share them in the comments below. Thanks so much to Brendon for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed this little look at our thoughts about Muppets, and get it together, Disney.
Yeah. Rest in pieces.
We surrender. We surrender.
We surrender. Oh no. I'm not.
Bolted to the chair. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions, your ideas. Be sure to share them in the comments below. Or you can contact me. There's information in the description that has my email address, fan pages, information about merchandise, and so much more. So be sure to check that out. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, and if you haven't already, hit the button right up there to subscribe. And in fact, if you did enjoy this, I've even got another video for you right here. And also about these wonderful people here, those are my YouTube members and my patrons, the ones whose financial support makes this possible. I couldn't do it without them. If you want to know more about that and the perks that come with it, well, be sure to check the description. There's a link right down there. Thank you so incredibly much. God bless.